May I tell you something? That overthinking is not actually the problem. Did you get that? Overthinking is not the actual problem. The real problem is living in tomorrow while your baby is growing today. Think about it. How many times during pregnancy have you caught yourself thinking about some future things? Like, will everything will be okay? Will reports be fine? Will everything be normal? Will my labor will go smooth? Will we be good parents? Will our relationship change? Will we be financially ready? Will we make the right decisions? One question becomes 10 questions in itself, and these 10 questions become hundreds, and therefore you realize it. Your mind is 6 months ahead while your life is happening right now. Able to connect with this, and maybe that is why so many couples feel exhausted even when nothing is actually wrong. Your mind has made you feel so much exhausted. Namaste. I'm Dr. Preeti Trivedi, your sacred pregnancy architect, and today I want to talk about something almost every couple experience, but very seldom, very few of them understand the original things and the originality behind it. Yes, it's overthinking. And not because there is something wrong in you, not because you are weak, not because you need to have some more equipments, you lack some confidence, but just because you care deeply and you land into overthinking. When something matters deeply, the mind tries to protect it. That's so simple. The problem begins when this protection quietly becomes obsession. There we need to address overthinking and come out of it. I want you to remember something very important. Remember the day you discover you are pregnant. Something else is born too, right? Not just a baby. There were hundreds of questions, and these hundreds of questions about health, the question about birth, the question about parenting, questions about how you are going to carry this pregnancy ahead, how you are going to carry this child, questions about future, questions about whether you are ready, and suddenly a journey that should feel magical, the pregnancy journey, starts feeling heavy, not because of pregnancy, but because of the stories running inside the mind around this present situation. I remember a couple who came to me during their 7th month. Medically, everything fine. All the reports were okay. Everything was working beautiful for them. Baby was growing very nicely, very well, but both looked tired. Not physically, but emotionally. A certain level of emotional exhaustion I saw into them. And when I asked, what worrying you so much during this magical period? Wife said, Ma'am, I just keep imagining my labor. The husband said, I keep imagining everything that could go wrong after the baby arrives. And then I asked them one simple question. Tell me how much of what you are worried about is happening today, right now, during these days. They looked at each other and smiled because None of it was happening that time. At that time, they understood that they are worrying for the future. Suffering wasn't coming from the reality. It was coming from some imaginations. What if? And that is where overthinking lives. I'll tell you, my dear blossoming couples, that most people think that overthinking steals the peace. But actually, overthinking steals your presence. You miss today's kick because you are worrying about tomorrow's delivery. How is it going to happen? You miss today's laughter. Why? Because you are planning for next year something XYZ, some of the responsibilities which you feel you may have to do. You miss today's connection because your mind is trying to solve problems that don't even exist yet. And slowly pregnancy becomes something which both of you manage instead of something which both of you should experience to the fullest. Is this time going to come back? So shouldn't you enjoy this phase? See, there is a huge difference between planning and overthinking. I'll tell you how. Planning asks, what can I do today? But overthinking asks, what if? Planning creates movement. Overthinking creates paralysis. Planning brings clarity. Overthinking creates confusion. Planning happens once. Like once you are done with planning, you don't go over it. But overthinking repeats the same conversation 100 times and yet gives no answer. I think by now you are clear between planning and overthinking. Can I say something honestly? Previous generations had fewer answers, fewer information. Today's generation has too many. One symptom and there are 20 opinions. One concern and there are hundreds of videos available on media. One question and thousands of comments, and suddenly, instead of feeling more informed, feeling that confidence which you need to get, you feel overwhelmed. Because information cannot replace the inner trust, and Google can never calm a fear that belongs to the heart. Now let's talk about something very important. Women and men, they overthink, but their ways are far way different. A mother may think, will I be enough? Will I know how to care for my baby? Will I lose myself after becoming a mother? Identity shift. Whereas a father may think, can I provide enough for my family? Can I protect my family? Can I handle this responsibility? See, both are overthinking, but different thoughts, same emotion. What is that? A fear, a doubt. And because couples focus on the words, they miss the emotion underneath. The wife thinks, he doesn't care for me anymore. He does not understand me anymore. Whereas the husband thinks, nothing I do is enough for her. And slowly, both start feeling alone. Not because they don't love each other, they don't want to be with each other, but because they stop sharing what is really happening inside them. Both are in the same state, and still there is a drift. So what do? We need to stop asking, how do I stop overthinking? Rather, start asking, what is my mind trying to protect? Because every overthinking pattern hides a deeper need, a need for safety, a need for certainty, a need for reassurance, a need for trust. And we address the need, when we address the need, overthinking naturally becomes quieter and quieter. Did you understand it now how you need to address overthinking? So whenever you find yourself tapped into your thoughts, you're thinking continuously on something, pause, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is actually true right now? Not next month, not next year, right now. What is actually true? Maybe right now your baby is safe. Maybe right now your body is doing exactly what it needs to do for your baby to flourish. Maybe right now your partner is sitting beside you. Maybe right now life is okay and going as it should go. That awareness alone can bring you back home. Isn't it so simple? But often simple things we neglect or we don't do. So tonight, I want you and your partner try something. 10 minutes. That's all. No phones, no television, no distractions, no nothing. Just sit together. Hold each other's hands and ask each other one single question. Don't fix anything. What has been living in your mind lately that you haven't told me? Often sharing becomes a much more easier when you sit together and then just listen. Don't fix, don't teach, don't advise, don't solve. Just listen. Because sometimes healing begins when someone finally feels understood. The time we feel understood, healing starts to happen. And here's something beautiful. Your baby is already teaching you something which can easily avoid overthinking. Babies don't live in the future. They don't live in yesterday. They don't live anywhere else except completely in the present moment. Every kick, every movement, every heartbeat is an invitation to come back to now. Maybe that's why pregnancy feels so sacred, because every day your baby is teaching you a lesson. The most adults forget. Be here, not there. Anywhere else, be here. That's what we need to learn from our cute little bundle of joy. And at Womb Wisdom, we believe that peaceful pregnancies are not created by having all the answers at your backs or in your minds. They are created by building trust. Trust in your body, trust in your baby, trust in your relationship, trust in life, trusting the process, because certainty is impossible. You cannot be certain for every aspect of life, but trust is available every single day to have. You need to rehearse it. Imagine yourself holding your baby one day. Looking back at these 9 months, you probably won't remember every report of yours. You won't remember every worry you had during these days. You won't remember every Google search you made during these times. But you will surely remember the moments, the conversations, the laughter, the tiny kicks, the evening walks, the dreams you shared with your partner, the connection you shared, the connection you created. Those are the memories that stays. And this is exactly why womb wisdom exists. Not just as a pregnancy community, but it is a trusted ecosystem where you get a 360-degree pregnancy care for mothers, for fathers, for couples, for families who want to experience pregnancy consciously. A place where you are guided emotionally, mentally, relationally, and consciously. Because here we believe that pregnancy was never meant to be carried alone. And when couples walk this journey together with so many other couples who are on the same journey, they share the experiences and they witness that everything changes. So before I leave you, today I want you to remember this. Overthinking is the mind's attempt to make you feel safe, because peace comes when we stop demanding certainty. So keep it aside, start practicing trust. So tonight, place one hand on your heart and one on your womb. Deep breathe in and out. Get connection and softly whisper, today is enough. My baby is growing today. My love is here today, and today deserves my presence. Because your baby needs many things from you, but perhaps the greatest gift is not your perfection. The greatest gift is your presence. So, me, Dr. Preeti Trivedi, your sacred pregnancy architect, will only say start rehearsing the trust. And until we meet again, stay present, stay connected, and stay rooted to your womb wisdom. Namaste.